Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. You hear those 808s in the back? I'm going to show you how to make your 808s and your kicks knock way harder. And we're going to get a little scientific with it so you can understand what's actually happening. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. It's Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. We train over 900,000 producers around the world. We're trying to help more people. They've gone to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Lil Baby, Ray Shremmerd, YG, a lot of folks around the world. Let's hop into FL Studio. I'm going to show you how to make your 808s and your kicks hit way, way, way harder. So firstly, there's this principle in physics called wave interference. So I'll show you what this sounds like and what it means. Basically, you have constructive interference, which means when two sounds of the same exact waveform hit each other, they basically just double. Okay, but if two sounds, if one's +1 and then one's -1 at the same exact frequency, those cancel out because +1 -1 is 0. So there's no sound. So what happens with your kicks is you either stack a kick in an 808 and it gets so loud that it starts clipping the entire track and it becomes unmanageable, or you stack a kick with an 808 and they cancel each other out because certain frequencies are overlapping. So that's what's happening. It's called wave interference. Let's get into the DAW and show you how to apply this stuff. Okay, so let's open this up. So on this Dre track, you guys were asking me, how did I get the drum so hard? So let me turn this up. So the real key, it's not just the sample, okay? I have a kick and I have an 808 sample, okay? But the 808 has a plugin called Soothe over top of it. So in Soothe, you have what's called a side chain. This means that it will only react to some external sound. So I turned on sidechain mode, and what I did was I found my kick in my mixer, I found my 808, and I right-clicked, and I sidechained to this track. So now the kick is sidechained to the 808 as a trigger or an input. Then we go into Soothe 2, turn on sidechain mode, go to your settings, go to processing, right-click, and select kick. So now when you go to the front panel, every time the kick hits, it lowers the volume in Soothe. Whatever I'm doing in Soothe, the kick triggers that thing. Okay, so the kick is triggering Soothe to work. So I have it set to where, basically it's let me see here. There's a low pass filter. My mic's super loud. I'm trying to turn it back down. Find the mic track, put this mic on. Okay, so in Soothe, we have a low pass filter, so it's not listening to any high frequencies from the kick. It's only listening to those lows of the kick, because the kick and the 808 are probably going to clash anything below 80 hertz or typically below 200 hertz. I have this one set to 172, but usually it's around 80 hertz where the frequencies are so slow, there tends to be a lot of overlap. So you'll have a kick overlap your 808 a lot more because they're so slow. It's just bound to happen. They just run into each other. So think about how bigger people, like, I don't know why I sound like I'm in a tin. I'm just so used to my voice sounding huge. Okay, so I'll turn this back on. But, think if the sound were like a big person that weighs 600 pounds and they're wide, okay, they're going to run into other people who are 600 pounds because they're also wide. You're going to have a better chance of running into people when something's that big. But if they're super skinny and they're only like, a couple pounds, then they're super skinny, you're not really going to run into other people as easily. So the same thing with sounds. The lower the frequency, the bigger they are. And so they run into a lot of stuff in their way. And it's running into the low frequency. So the 808 has slow moving stuff. The kick has slow moving stuff, and they're clashing. So I have the kick as an input, as a sidechain to Soothe, which is over top the 808. So again, this is taking care of any frequency overlap. I'm going to turn off the other plugins so you can just hear what this one plugin sounds like. So if I turn the Soothe off, you might not be able to tell, but there's a little crunch. It's going like listen for a crunch. It's like, and when I turn Soothe on, we'll get rid of that crunch, because remember, if the kick's trying to play and the 808's trying to play at the same time and they have frequencies overstacking each other, they could just double in volume and clip everything. So it just becomes loud and just unnecessarily loud. Now with this, you have less of that. You can crank it up higher. Now I have my attack down low, but you could, so there's different ways to do this, but basically I want it to where as soon as the kick hits, it lowers the volume of the 808 in this frequency range and they don't clash. And I have the release set to fast too. So by default, the attack's like up here. I pulled it down even faster. I put it on hard mode too. You can make this, you can exaggerate it more, but I don't want it to where it's like kick and then 808, because then it basically just turns it into a volume, you know, a typical sidechain where it's just cutting out all the volume. This is cutting out specific frequencies. It's not cutting out the other frequencies of the 808. So that's what it makes it different. It's way different than a regular sidechain. Okay, now we have that. And I added a thermionic culture vulture to the 808. Kenny Beats talked about using the hardware version of this. But this is what gives it that brrr, brrr, that vibration sound. Turn the drive up and then turn your output level down. Okay, so here's without. Here's the kick. Now this is an optimal spot to where if I crank up the kick too loud, it will start to do the same exact thing because the bass is clipping now. See how it's just clipping the whole track? I don't want it to clip. So let's play it without. This doesn't have the same effect. You could do it with this one, but you could tell it's not the perfect. Now with, they both hit. So that low end stays consistent all the way through. So that's how that works. I wanted to show you a scientific reason why that works. We also did this in the Kanye track we made when I showed you how to sample like Kanye. So if you want to learn more about this stuff, I break it all the way down. Just go to premium.busyworksbeats.com. We have a ton of courses for you, university level training right there for you. Just go to premium.busyworksbeats.com. I'll leave a link below. Thank you for watching. It's Game from busyworksbeats.com. Peace.